Hey guys, we're going to part 2 of the weekly diecast haul, like I said in part 1. Really awesome haul from the toy shows, and yeah, some good stuff I finally have added to the collection. Starting off from the Dodge series from last year is the 1978 Dodge Monaco police car. Not Grand Prix. Police car, my bad. So it's a pretty neat little casting. It's awesome to have a new version of this Dodge Monaco police car. Also a fan of this police car. It's a pretty cool one to find. No regular decals, but it has a really awesome police delivery on it, so that's awesome. Just a neat little matchbox I found. Can't go wrong with it. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a nice one to find. Next up is the passing gasser, the only one I didn't find from the what's it called? The show last weekend. But it's still pretty cool to add to the collection. Nice little gasser looking 30s car. I always like this casting. It's pretty neat looking. Big tires and small tires up front. Big engine up front. Rally bars in the back, which is cool. Pretty awesome little casting. So that's pretty cool. Nice little 30s car. That's a cool gasser to find. Next up, back to stuff I did find from the store. The toy show last week. It's an 89 Mercedes-Benz 560 SE AMG. I love this new casting, and it's cool to get the gray version of it. I saw this there, I had to pick it up. It's probably my favorite casting of this year. This is such a nice casting. Rims are really good. This front and rear decal, which is all you need. Gray version's awesome. The black version's still the king of the two. But this is not a bad version of it. So I'm really glad to find a new version of this. So awesome to find this car that came out this year. So that's awesome. Awesome new casting. And cool to find that one. Next up is Torica is what it says, but it's like a 50s style Chevy truck. Is it new for 2001? But awesome to get a new version of this. It's one of the original versions too. Has it lean over the front windshield there. Pretty nice little stance. I like this maroon color. Has some weight to it too. It's cool to get the first edition of this car. This truck. So that's really awesome. Pretty neat little Chevy truck. So that's cool. Glad to find this one. So that's a nice addition to the collection. Next up is the Selena 7. Really awesome to find this one. It's like a racing version of the Selena 7. So I got the regular version. Now I got this like Le Mans style version of it. Really awesome. Rims are pretty neat on it. Has that wing back right here, which is pretty cool. Just a neat little casting. And it's nice to have a version of this casting. I have the other Selena 7 casting as well. This one's pretty neat. It has some weight to it, which is pretty nice. So it's pretty cool. Has metal body, plastic base. But pretty neat little Selena 7 to add to the collection. So that's really nice. A pretty cool color to add, so glad to add that one. Next up is the Lotus Elise 340R. Pretty cool concept car. I always wanted this in my collection, and it's been awesome to finally add one to the collection. It's a nice front decal. These tires are pretty cool. It's a pretty neat little casting. Can't go wrong. But yeah, so I'm glad to find one of these in the collection. Pretty cool little Elise. Lotus Elise, I mean. So that's not bad. It's a pretty neat little car. So that's pretty cool to add. Next up is Ford Mustang Fastback. 65 Ford Mustang Fastback. Cool to get the first edition of this car. Oh, it's a pretty neat car. It's a pretty cool Shelby delivery on it. No rear decals, but that's alright. The rims are okay. But it's pretty neat to have the first edition of this car finally in the collection. I have so many versions of it. To get the original, that's pretty awesome. It's a pretty cool looking car. Has that Shelby racing livery on it, so that's always neat to find. It's a pretty neat little car, so that's cool. Next up is a 97 Corvette. I always like this casting, so whenever I see one I don't have, I always pick it up. And this one's pretty cool. So Chevy symbol right there. Rims are anything that kills this casting, this version of it, but it's still pretty neat. Has that white interior, blue glass for the windshield. It's not too bad. It's still pretty neat. Better out of the package than it was in. This is a neat little Corvette C5 find. So always cool to find one of these. So that's pretty cool. Next up is another Corvette, and this one's new for 2008. It is a Corvette Grand Sport. Nice to have the original version of this car into the collection. Always like this casting too. And this is a pretty cool one. Rims are pretty nice. I like that paint, Corvette Racing paint scheme on it. Some sponsors right there. The 2 in back. No rear decals, but that's alright. It's still really awesome casting. So really glad I picked this one up. It's a pretty awesome Corvette Grand Sport. One of my favorite ones now in my collection, so really glad I get this one added to the collection. Should have picked up the other one I saw there, but that's alright. I still got this cool one. So that's pretty awesome. It's a pretty nice little Corvette. Next up, I couldn't believe I found it's the regular version of this because the Super is one of the hardest ones to get and expensive. That is the 71 Datsun Bluebird 510 wagon. Just awesome to find the regular of this really famous Super. It's crazy this car has been out for 10 years now. It came out in 2013. It's crazy that's 10 years ago, but still cool to finally add this to the collection. Just such a cool car. And I do like this casting too, so it's really cool to have a new version of it. So I'm really glad I finally add this to the collection. Been wanting to find this one for a long time. Now I have it. So that's just awesome. So glad I finally add this to the collection. That's really cool. So really glad I got this 510 wagon. That's just an awesome casting to add. The next 4 cars are the same car, but different deliveries, starting with the 1996 first edition Dodge Daytona Charger. I've always wanted this version of it, and I finally got it. So it's just cool to finally have this one. Really neat little casting. Basic paint scheme, no front or rear decals. It's just awesome to finally have the version of this. Have the first edition of this casting. Stance isn't the best, but that's alright. I'm just happy to finally get this car in the collection. So this is a really neat little Daytona. Really glad to grab this and add it to the collection. So that's just awesome. Next up, from Racing Champions is another Dodge Daytona. This one's from NASCAR delivery from the 60s. That was really cool. Always cool to add some more Daytonas to the collection, especially with racing deliveries, and this one's pretty awesome. It's a little suspension. It's that wing, the number 60 with it. It's really cool. So that's awesome. Older NASCAR version Daytona to find, add to the collection. Really neat little car. Really awesome to add this to the collection too. So awesome Daytona to find, and this is a cool racing one. Next up, another Dodge Daytona, also from Racing Champions. I got a good deal with these, 20 bucks with these Daytonas all together. And 2 other cars from the same seller, so really cool to pick these up. And this one's also pretty cool. Like the rims with the old style NASCAR rims there. No interiors, but these cool little racing deliveries, old school NASCARs. This is makes that forward for me, so that's just really cool. It has some weight to it as well. Both of these do, the 60 and this 18. Dude, that's really awesome to find. Really cool casting too. So glad to add this to the collection. That's a really awesome Daytona. Really gotta add that. Next up's the final Daytona I found. This one is number 3. It's just cool to find these Daytonas and glad to add them to the collection. This one's really awesome as well. This number 3 is really cool. Like the way it looks, it's a Dodge symbol right there. Really awesome, has a little suspension as well. It's an awesome racing champion Daytona. Really glad to find this one. Just awesome car. It just looks really nice. It's a cool little old school style car. So really glad to find all 4 of these Daytonas, and this one's just a cool one to add as well. So that's just really awesome. An awesome Daytona find. Last up, finally cool to finally add this car in my collection. It's the 59 Chevy Delivery from an old series from back in the day with Hot Wheels before I started collecting. So, well, I was collecting this, isn't it? I am now. So, this is a really cool casting. This 59 Chevy Delivery. Love that front end. Like that Hertz delivery on it. It's really cool. Nice rear end. Has a little weight to it. It's rubber tires. Cool. It's a cool, neat little casting. So really glad to find this and add this to the collection. So that's really awesome. So yeah, that's all I found this week. Really cool stuff from that toy show. And just some really awesome stuff. So I hope you guys like this video. For more videos like this, please like, subscribe, notification bell. I see you guys next week. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And I'll talk to you guys next time.